The typical earnest money when buying a new home really depends on three factors. The first of which is the price of the house. Now, unlike resale, the earnest money for a new construction property is not a percentage of the sale, rather it is a specific dollar amount that the builder sets per community. The second thing that can affect earnest money is whether or not the buyer is a contingent buyer. And what that means is that buyer has a home to sell that would need to close prior to that new home being completed. In that case, the builder will typically tack on $1,000 or a couple thousand extra dollars to the earnest money if the buyer is a contingent buyer. And the third and final depends on the amount and type of upgrades that a buyer puts in the home. If, for example, the buyer puts more upgrades in the home than is the average for that community, or selects upgrades that are not traditional for that particular type of home, the builder will and can request more earnest money at the time that the contract is signed. Now, the earnest money, unlike resale, is really to secure the lot. And earnest money typically is refundable all the way up until the new home starts, which is during the finance period. Once the new home starts, which is very important, almost always earnest money is non-refundable. There is no option period in the sense of resale when buying a new home. When you want to either reserve an inventory home, which is a home that's already completed, or a lot in which you select a floor plan to build, you typically put down an earnest money amount, which is determined by the builder. The period of time between when you sign that contract and when the new home starts is a period of time when the buyer is typically selecting options and that buyer is receiving full underwritten approval. When buying a home, each builder has one or more preferred lenders. However, it is not a requirement for that buyer to use that builder's lender when buying a new home. There are many benefits, however, to using the builder's preferred lender, such as the builder offering to pay a portion of or all of the closing costs for that buyer. The builder inspects its work at every stage of the construction. When the home is complete, there is also a walkthrough with the builder, the buyer, and an agent if a buyer chooses to use an agent. During the walkthrough, the buyer and the agent point out different things in the house that need to be fixed up by the builder prior to the home closing. The builder then goes in and fixes up those final items. If the buyer would like to have a third-party inspection, they are more than welcome to do that, and the Loken Group has a trusted list of third-party inspectors that we can recommend. For more information, please contact us at 281-861-4624 or go to our website at thelokengroup.com.